Hello everyone, this is Budgets Are Cool, and you are currently watching the fourth video in my drawing process tutorials series. In this video we will be going over shading of the base colors that we placed last video and the eyes. And I am super excited because I am finally done with finals, just like this person. Yep, that's why she's all happy. If you remember, if you watch the other ones, those are papers everywhere. Yay! And papers, I mean like homework or finals, just things that don't matter anymore because you're done with finals. Ah, it's a good feeling. Alright, let's get into it. First, let's start with her eyes. So we'll go to our face layer, in which we have the eye color, and then we have eye whites, and her mouth, which we'll get to later. So, for eyes, we first have this down, right? Now let's put opacity lock on. Let's take a color from the eyes in both swatches. And to switch from your primary to secondary and vice versa, you can press X, which at least for me does it. And now I will use the airbrush tool at a fairly big, actually not the airbrush yet, I'll use the brush tool at this tip thing, I don't know, and I'll keep it at around 40, and I'll draw in her pupils, nice and big. Go anime manga style. Okay, let's see. As long as they somewhat match, doesn't have to be perfect, because at the top I'll use the airbrush tool at an even darker color to, just a second, I'm gonna turn smoothing off, darken the tops of the eyes, or the irises. This just gives it a bit more depth. It's also good to kind of go around the sides too. This is just generally how I do this. And now that we have that, we can go with pure black, I guess, and do a little extra touch up. Or not really touch up, just kind of over. Now, what I'll do is I'll go to my original green, and I'll move the hue up a little towards the yellow, and just the brightness up a bunch too. And I'll use the brush tool on a smaller size, and I'll make these highlights. I think I'm gonna turn on smoothing again. And there. It's nice highlights just at the bottoms of the eyes. And can use the blending tool, or blur tool I mean, to smooth things out in there if you really want to. And of course you can't have your anime eyes without the little shinies in the corners. I tend to like to keep mine a bit simple, so I don't have more than 1 or 2 per eye usually. The most I'll go into is having the main ones up here, and then maybe a small one down there. I don't know what I like. think I'll go with the, yeah, whatever that is. Or not. I don't know, I can't decide on anything. Okay, good enough. And then, I guess you can glaze over it, but this is problematic. I won't do it right now. Okay, and now for the eye whites, we can put opacity lock on that too. Take the whitish color that you previously put down, get a little darker, get a big pen, I guess, and darken the tops a little. Yep, maybe a little darker. Adding some depth to the eye. Okay. And the mouth, we'll get to that later. We will start on the hoodie now. I like to always put opacity lock on whatever layer I'm working on. And I will take 2 samples of the original pink. So I like to put the hue a little counterclockwise and down for at least this level of shading. And now for this, I'll use the pen tool, and we'll just lay down some basic, maybe a little darker, some basic shadow lines. So eventually we'll go over this again with the brush tool. Wait, have I been saying brush tool or pen tool? Oh, they're 2 different things, so if I've been mixing my words up, I'm sorry. And then that just goes there. No. And that goes in there. Oh yeah, also one thing that you need to pay attention to is just kind of decide where in general your light source is coming from. So for me, I chose just kind of a from above to the rightish a little, but it will be visible in other places too, just like shadows always are. So like here for instance, we have the shadows going, they're still in the folds, but we will make them a little less prominent later. Also it's under there. And that's about it for these. I guess I'll just do the rest of those in time lapse in a second, after I show you what I do with these general broad lines. I'll go to the brush tool, put color blending to around 80ish, and opacity mix at 100. Oh, opacity mix doesn't matter right now because we have opacity lock on. And with that, we can go over these old lines and kind of just make them look better and less stiff, I guess. And I will be doing a bunch of that in time lapse. I will see you in a bit. Hello, we are back from the sped up videos or the sped up portion of the video. And what I'm doing right now is I'm using the brush tool to get a more strandy feel for the hair. And the hair, I pretty much did the usual blocky shading at the start, similar to cell shading except a little less precise. And I just did that with a color that's not the same hue exactly, but a little down the color wheel, hue wise. So I tend to go counterclockwise, but for the pants, if you're really observant, you'll see, or you would have seen, that I made it go clockwise towards the purple range. Purple shadows they tend to be pretty nice and give a nice feel to the whole drawing. And yeah, this is just going along with the hair, with the flow of it. And this, just by the way, is not anywhere near done yet. I still have to add highlights and make lots of adjustments. And those adjustments will be fairly soon. I'm just gonna speed up again, and I will see you in a bit. Hey, so what I'm doing right here is the hair shine, and how I did this was I put a light blob on there first, and now I'm using the brush tool at a fairly high color blending level and just pushing around the highlight as much as I can or want to, whatever looks good. And I don't know, I might have put a little too much on, so might have been one of the cases of less is more, but who can have too much hair shine? So that's hair shine. I just wanted to say that. I'll let you get back to the sped up portion. I'll see you in a bit. Well, apparently a bit is not very long because I was already at the next part. So, this next part is going to be something that I kind of figured out or learned on my own just a little while ago. And what it is I use a test layer, and I go to wherever I want to edit. So say I want the left part of the hair to be darker, right? Just because that's just overall the general shape of the head is somewhat spherical. So I'm going to go to just any color pretty much, and then I'm going to just blacken it out, and you'll see what I'm doing in just a second. I'll get to it. Maybe the bottoms of these parts of the hair. I can use the blur tool to smooth things out. And now what I'll do is I will select the test layer with control, hold control, and then click the little picture icon. Then make it go invisible. Go to your hair layer or whatever layer you're trying to affect. And now you can use Control U or Control Shift U. So I'm using Control U. And this way you can just affect that part of the hair. And I think that about covers it for the shading process. All that's left is highlights, or our highlights, and that is exactly the same as what I was doing before, except just lighter. Alright, I'll see you in a bit. Hello, that is about it for highlighting and shadows as far as I can see right now. So the last thing that I want to touch upon is the outline. And if you don't want just a pure black outline, which people are usually fine with, but you can put the opacity lock on this also, and you can color your outline this way. So what I like to do is take the color from the surround, or just the near color in the outline, use the airbrush and just kind of lightly go over any of the lines that you think might need a little bit of color to them. This is why, oh, never mind, I guess it's not. Well, usually before I would do this other thing where I would get my blend mode and put it onto overlay, which kind of does that for you, except a little too much in my opinion, and also you get like half of it off of the color, which is just how I color, so it doesn't really work out. But that's why I used to do the face on a different layer, I just realized. Anyway, we're going back to normal, and we're just going to color the outline just a teensy bit. It's not a big change, but it does bring a little extra to the picture. Alright, so I'll speed up the rest of this outline coloring. I'll see you when we're gonna be done. Alright, so that about wraps it up for this video. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. This is Budgets Are Cool. Thanks for watching my video, and take care!